coma. Her mother miraculously woke up when her daughter Mary tried to shake her hand, but she hastily avoids it. She doesn't remember her daughter at all. It's as if she's a different person, but this does not seem to be a simple case of memory loss. Upon awakening, she was examined and found that injuries that had previously been judged irreparable by the hospital had miraculously healed itself. The doctors had never seen anything like it, and she recovered at a remarkable rate. She passed all the physical tests with ease. What's even more amazing is that Mother speaks over 30 languages. Even her memory is superb. The only thing she regrets is that Mary was always a stranger to her, seeing the good old days. Apart from her indifference, she was surprised. That day, Mom suddenly said she wanted to make a phone call. She then recites a long list of numbers. Mary dials it. When the call was answered, she hung up immediately. However, later that evening, while her mother was swimming, a man suddenly approached her. A man called Jack. He claims to have received a call from his mother. The two men were talking about something that no one else could understand. Mary comes over and the mother introduces him as an old friend of hers, but Mary didn't believe him. She had no memory of me, her daughter. How could she remember a friend? Mary went to the doctor and told him her doubts. This is not my mother, but the doctor said, after all these years, many things will change, and you are not the same person. Who says otherwise? Although Mom woke up, but there is no sense of the closeness that used to be there. Mary takes her mother back home, where they had spent so many good years together, but Mom still looks like a stranger. Mary has prepared her mother's favorite sandwich bread, but she only tasted one bite. She shakes her head slightly at the spiciness of it, but Mom used to love spicy food. Mary offered to make it again, but she said she wanted to rest. In the room, everything was just the way it was, but the mother just looks around with a blank expression. She looks at the photo of her daughter in the box. She picks up the red ribbon. Suddenly, some memories came back to her, but then she turned to her phone and sent a message to Jack.
童浪漫，我不知道我还能坚持多久。
Clearly, she didn't want to remember. She wanted to escape. In the evening, after washing up, Mary, hearing a noise in her mother's room, curious, she opens the door, only to hear her recite a large list of nuclear physics formulae. Mary is even more puzzled, but after all, it was her own mother. What could she do? It must be the wrong way to behave with her mother. The next day, she cooked a lot of good food. There were all sorts of things. Mary stopped forcing her mother to remember. She wanted to get to know her mother again. She wanted to make new memories together. Mom smiled for the first time in a long time. Things seemed to be looking up, but no sooner had she eaten a few bites than Mother suddenly excuses herself to go out. She has gone to a military base with Jack. The girl, Mary, is arguing with her boyfriend, the mother, who is a long way away, but can repeat their conversation word for word. Parents should envy such skills. But when the mother learns that her daughter is upset, but the mother is indifferent, because in her eyes, her daughter is a stranger. She was a stranger to her daughter. She was in a coma for 6 years. A few days ago, she suddenly woke up. She had lost all her previous memories. Her body has changed in strange ways. She recites nuclear physics in her sleep. When she hears voices, she repeats them all like a repeater. Increasingly puzzled, Mary secretly opens her mother's notepad and writes down Jack's address. Jack was the only person she knew when she woke up. Not remembering that her daughter remembered him, Mary is determined to find out the truth. She follows the address to a small town. She meets Jack's wife, Jenny. Jenny says that her husband is also a vegetable. He had been in a coma for 6 months, but suddenly woke up a few days ago. He was a different person too. He recites nuclear physics in his sleep. Mary realized that this coincidence was no accident. She was not my mother. The feeling became even more intense, and at that moment, Mother came to the military base with Jack again. She saw her hands gently touching the wire mesh. Immediately a woman appeared in her mind. A woman in a prison uniform. She will be transferred tonight. Jack says he has to hurry, but his mother said she wanted to wait. He's not strong enough yet. She's not quite ready for Earth yet. Yes, they're alien life forms. They need human bodies to move around the planet. The woman in captivity is one of their people. The women were ordered to come to Earth to steal information, but the mission fails. They come to rescue her and evacuate together. Jack guesses what his mother is thinking. It's not a lack of ability. It was because of the girl. Yes, It was, on their planet, everyone was a loner, only missions and executions. And here, ever since she woke up, she has been feeling the love of Mary for her. But her mission had to be fulfilled. She made an important decision. She came home and handed Mary a stack of papers. It was a life insurance policy for a very large sum of money. The beneficiary is Mary. Her mother hopes that her departure will make Mary feel better, but Mary doesn't care about that, and keeps asking her mother what is going on. She can't reveal the secrets of her people, but had to say it harshly.
I just need you to accept it and move on.
Move on?
You're grown up. You don't really need a mother.
Her daughter was sad to leave. Evening, the two men drove up and stopped the road. The man raised his hand and the car was overturned. And the mother was even more powerful. She uses her mind to control everyone to drop their guns. They managed to save their people. Yes, they weren't human. They're just alien beings who have borrowed human bodies. Then they quickly went to a launcher. The women said the words, "I'll see you at home." And then they flew off into the universe as beams of light. And the body fell to the ground without breathing. When the mother saw this, her mind kept flashing back to the experiences she had had with her daughter all these days, a warmth that she had never felt on her own planet. When she woke up, she heard her daughter calling out to her, seeing the joy and worry of her daughter, the hard work of cooking for her all morning, the only time we held hands, the only photo of her together, and the only words,
Thanks, Mom.
all the things she didn't want just this once, looking at the body on the floor, not breathing. She couldn't let her daughter lose her mother again. 6 years. 6 years of caring for her unconscious mother. It was the best years of a girl's life. She had survived. The mother decided not to leave. She wanted to stay. No one could stop her. She's not even bothered by her family's urging. She burst out with a burst of superhuman energy and beat him back. She will go to her daughter. On the other side, her daughter and her boyfriend get back together, but she suddenly runs into her boyfriend's rival. Just as her daughter's life is threatened, the mother appears. With a flick of her wrist, the punk is thrown a few dozen meters. The daughter is sure it's not her mother, but just then,
Aaliyah.
the punk shoots her mother. The boyfriend immediately ran to the shop and took out the defibrillator. Once it didn't work, 2 tries and still no response. The daughter tried again and again and again. Desperate, but then, a dazzling light came out of her mother's body and it instantly transforms into an aura of human form. It was her. The strange mother. She flew into the wires and drew energy from them, then quickly condenses back onto the defibrillator. The daughter sees this and tries again. She succeeded. The real mother has returned. The human halo looks at them silently, as if to say goodbye. Then it disappears. The alien mother gave her life to save the real mother. It was only a few days, but she felt the love of a real mother. She gives her life to reunite the real mother and daughter. At the end of the film, the daughter puts a picture on the fridge. It is a picture of her alien mother. She will always remember that this strange mother loved her deeply.